These are 10 of the newest PlayStation features that you need to know. Recently, Sony released a huge update for the PS5, and I must admit, I'm a little late to the party on this. And that's because I was away in Berlin at an event with Amazon. But I'm now back in the studio and have had time to test out all of these features and tell you the ones that you should know about. Starting with the most viewed screen for all PlayStation users, which is the PS5 Homepage. This has had a redesigned look, and it's super discreet, but if you look in the far right corner, you will now see the total hours played and the in-game time. And on supported titles, you'll also be able to see the total game progression for the main story. However, do be aware that this can sometimes get confused with a game card, like an activity card, so it might say you've completed like 98% of a story, when really you've done like 10% of the main story. It's just getting confused by an individual mission that you're currently playing on an activity card, so sort of take this with a grain of salt. Another new addition is also found inside of the game bar, with a new activity card making it much easier to see the total progression of your trophies in your current game that you're playing. This will make trophy hunting much easier. On the topic of making things easier and also tracking games, you can now hit the options button on your controller to unlock further settings to change the default sort order, which was a highly requested change. But the changes don't stop there. When adding games, you can now access sort and filter options, and within these new filter types, you can separate brand new PSVR 2 titles from the old PSVR 1 games from the PS4, which is really useful if you were lucky enough to get your hands on a PSVR 2 headset. Probably one of the biggest features that we have to talk about is Discord integration on the PS5. This is a complete game changer for cross-platform multiplayer gaming. If you play things such as Call of Duty Warzone and Fortnite, you will understand the pain of having to use the in-game lobbies to chat and talk with your friends. The quality is not the best, they're quite annoying to get set up, and also the audio level balance between your gameplay and also your squad chat can be quite frustrating to change on the fly. However, everything just got a lot easier for talking to your friends on Xbox, PC, and even having a mobile phone call on your PlayStation. Just head into Users and Account, then go to Link Services and choose Discord. Next, grab your smartphone, but make sure that you're logged into Discord on your Android or iOS device, and then scan the QR code that will be displayed on your TV screen. Once complete, using the Discord app on your phone, you can pull up any server or voice chat that you wish to speak inside of, then choose that party chat, but don't click Join with Voice. First, you need to swipe up on the screen to unlock the option to join on your PlayStation. And boom, just like that, you can now talk on Discord with your PS5 chatmate. Variable refresh rate is now available at 1440p resolutions. Honestly, every time there's a PS5 update, it seems like there's always so much hype surrounding the 1440p features. And I guess that's because we all waited so long for 1440p to be supported at launch, because if you forget that the PS5 only supported 4K and 1080p when it first released in 2020. But now Sony has started to expand its support with various 1440p monitors and compatible displays. And to see if you can access VRR at 1440p on your monitor, just head to your display options and then test your display output. You'll then see this list of features that you can access. And if you're actually looking for quite a cheap 1440p monitor, I picked this one up on Amazon for $170. It's 27-inch, 144Hz, also has adaptive sync with support for both NVIDIA G-Sync and AMD FreeSync. Plus, according to the box, it also has a 1 millisecond response time, which is amazing value for great gaming on a budget. For the price, it seems pretty decent, and I'll leave an Amazon link down below. Voice commands on the PS4 and even PS5 have always been a thing hidden away within the settings. However, there are some new voice commands that have been added for recording your iconic gaming moments. You can now say things such as, "Hey PlayStation, capture that," and it will record the last few moments of your gameplay. You can set the default amount of time of the clip that it will record within your capture and broadcast settings with a range from 15 seconds all the way up to 1 hour, which is amazing. But you know what? This "Hey PlayStation" feature kind of reminds me of something.
Whoa, Xbox, record that.
Yeah, nobody's going to be using that. What people may use instead are more specific voice record commands, such as the exact amount of time that you may wish to record, like, "Hey PlayStation, capture the last 5 minutes." This is actually quite useful if you come across a funny glitch or have the craziest moment in your gaming career that your friends will never believe unless they see it. To enable voice commands, just head over to your settings and then find voice command preview and toggle this on. Recently, with the massive success of Hogwarts Legacy, there has been a huge surge in people playing single-player story games, which is awesome. But this does mean you cannot play with your friends. But at least with the screen share feature, you can add an element of socializing to these one-player games. With screen share, you can easily request to see a friend's gameplay and also share yours, and then place it in the top corner using the picture-by-picture mode. Now, this has always been a feature. It isn't anything new, but what is new are the easier ways that you can actually access this within certain cards. For owners of the PSVR 2 headset, a bunch of new features have been added to the PS5 settings just for you. This includes the ability to change the button mappings of the function button on the headset to do various different things. But one of the coolest shortcuts that you have to know is that if you hold down the PS button on your VR controllers for a couple of seconds, you can power them down to save their battery, which is way faster than using the on-screen menu. You can also do this exact same shortcut on a regular PS5 controller if you didn't already know that. I think you hold it down for like 5 seconds or something and it will turn off. Speaking of controllers, the PS5 can finally complete a firmware update wirelessly without the need of you having to connect a USB Type-C cable anymore to your console and controller to action this. This is a huge feature, especially for ease of use. I cannot tell you the amount of times that it's popped up saying that I needed to do a controller update and I just dismissed it because I didn't have a cable on me at the time. I just play my games and then it would go on for months. I just keep forgetting to do the firmware update. I plug my controller into charge and then I come back and unplug it and play, forget to do the update, and then months would go by. So thankfully you can now do this in like a click of a button, done in a few seconds. Now, game presets have always existed on the PS5 and they're very useful for automatically choosing the difficulty of the games you play and also the graphics mode, whether it's in like performance or high fidelity, and so much more regarding your controller options too. But something just added are these new options for the multiplayer parameters within certain titles. But remember, it does have to be supported by the developers. Here you can now choose your preferences for who can join your game and also lobby, along with preferences for players within those sessions, so rules for who they can invite and so on. This is pretty great for stopping any unwanted guests just joining your lobby and sort of ruining your fun, like friends of a friend or whatever. Sort of keep things pretty clean. And finally, at number 10, you can now complete data transfer between two PS5 consoles. This is a really great feature, especially for people who initially purchased a digital PS5. So I first purchased the digital PS5, and then I realized all the games are super overpriced and you have to wait forever for them to go on sale, and you can pick up the same games for like £20 on Amazon instead of like £70 on the PS Store. So I then latterly upgraded to a PS5 disc edition. Although it's a little bit more expensive, you get the games way cheaper. So now with this new PS5 data transfer, you can actually transfer data between two PS5 consoles. So I could take all my saves, all my stuff over to my new disc console, not really lose too much in terms of the actual setup. Now, this feature always existed for transferring data between your PS4 to your PS5 when you finally updated to the next generation hardware, but it never existed for two PS5 consoles. So if you even had like a brother or something in the same house and you were sharing like same saves and all that type of stuff, you couldn't do it. But now you can, which is great. It makes it much easier for if you decide to switch to the more expensive disc edition instead of the digital. If you want to see more PS5 tips and tricks, you should check out this video next, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this to get the latest updates and features.